Hey guys, what's going on? SE-Rox here with you once again, bringing you a brand new edition of Rox Retro Review. Today we're going to do a game from the Nintendo Entertainment System. This one has some nostalgia value for me, probably why I like the series so much, and the games in particular. We're going to go start off with Adventure Island, number 1 right here. It came out in 1988. I don't remember when I had my first Nintendo. It was probably around then. I remember going to Glenn's Supermarket, if any of you guys out there remember Glenn's, and renting this game. You used to be able to go to supermarkets, guys, and rent games before there was GameStops or digital downloads or anything like this. You used to be able to go to your local supermarket and rent video games, which was really cool as a kid. Again, nostalgia, you know, it really kicks in. This game is a side-scrolling platformer, kind of like Mario Brothers, but not really. You kind of get that feeling as you're running along that it's kind of like a Mario. You can't go back in the level like you can in Mario Brothers or anything like that. It's strictly, you know, you're going forward. I really like the artwork in the game. The sprites or the characters, whatever you want to call them, are really well done. I like the colors. The levels are really well put together. It's not a super hard game per se. I've never beat it. I've played it hours and hours upon hours trying to beat it, but there's 32 levels to it. I think there's like 3 rounds to each level or something, but 32 altogether. I don't even remember how far I've made it, honestly. I think I tried last year to go do a run through again. My Nintendo didn't turn off for like 2 months because, you know, Nintendo, you can't no save points or anything, so you gotta pause. So I'd come home and try to beat it. I think the power went out or something and wiped my game, so I just gave up on it. But it's a really fun game. It's frustrating at times. You have to continually eat food or you lose life meter, which a lot of people, that's why they don't like the game. You have to continually eat. You don't get hit by enemies to lose life meter all the time. You can just lose life meter by not eating. You can like starve, I guess. You get basic weapons. I think you can throw a rock. There's an axe, fire boomerang, because it's like in the prehistoric times. The guy's name's Master Higgins. This little kid, I don't know a lot about the backstory, I just know the game. So that's number 1. It came out in 1988. And number 2, right there, came out in 1991. So there was a three-year gap between coming out. That one, basically the same thing as the first one. They just changed, you know, the characters. The levels are changed up. The controls aren't as funky. In the first game, I forgot to mention, you kind of slide a little bit before your jump or after your jump. There isn't a lot of precision in your jump, so that's really frustrating on the first one. But again, I love the game. You get past it, you figure out the controls, and you go on. They kind of fixed that in this one. It's basically the same thing. Again, I have never beat Part 2. I think I've tried in the last couple years since I started collecting to beat it, and just again I give up. I end up putting in another game because no save points. So it's basically the same thing, you guys. Is Adventure Island 1. It's just everything's kind of changed and updated a little bit. You still gotta eat food or you starve. You get hit by enemies, you die or whatever. Really fun game. I enjoy both of those. Number 3, Adventure Island 3 came out in 1992. I do not have a copy of that. I have not been lucky enough to find that one in the wild when we go out game collecting. If any of you guys out there happen to have Adventure Island 3 or ever come across it, please let me know. I would love to play it, own a copy. This is one of the few games that I have nostalgia value for that I would love to have the whole series. I probably never will. I'm missing 2 of them besides like the Game Boy. I don't collect Game Boy, but I'd like to have all the Nintendo and Super Nintendo versions. So yeah, I've never played Part 3, but I have played the one that came out also in 1992, Super Adventure Island, on the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. It came out the same year, so I'm assuming it's probably just a port of the Nintendo version. Since they both came out the same year, they already had the Nintendo version created, so they just pumped it out. Got it out, and that's probably why it's harder to find. There's probably not as many copies. So I'm assuming the Super Nintendo version just has updated graphics, probably. If any of you guys know the actual difference out there between the Nintendo version of Adventure Island 3 and Super Adventure Island, let me know. Drop it in the comments. Like I said, basically it's just an updated version, better graphics, controls are better, new enemies. Again, a super fun game. They updated it just enough to where the playability on the Super Nintendo version is a lot better than the Nintendo versions. I'll pop in the Super Nintendo version more than I will the Nintendo. It's just more fun to me. I like, of course, the graphics are better. You got little like cutscene things when you go from island to island and stuff. The colors are great. Again, artwork in the series I think is what really drew me to it as a kid, and still one of my favorites because of the artwork, and the playability is really fun. And lastly, there was Super Adventure Island 2. Came out in 1994. I don't have a copy of that one either. I think that one's a little harder to find too, so if anybody out there has it or you come across it, let me know, please. They changed it a little bit. It's not just a platform side scroller. Excuse me. They tried to add action-adventure elements to it. Again, I've never played it. I could play all these on ROMs, guys, but I choose not to. I don't know why, honestly. I probably just don't remember to play these particular games when I'm at somebody's house who has ROMs. And I prefer putting the cartridge into the old-school games. It's just something that reminds me of, I don't know, an easier time in life. You know, no worries. You come home, you blow in your carts, you pop them in, you play your game for a little bit. You know, it was just much simpler times back then. And these are a few of the games that take me back to that. If any of you guys out there have played this game, any of these games, any of these 5, or the Game Boy versions even, drop in the comments, let me know what you think of them. Did you hate them? Do you like them? What would you change about them? I know there are a few things. I would make it so you could go back. I hate the fact that you can only go, you know, forward. If you miss an object or something, you can't go back like you can in some of the other Nintendo games. I know Mario 1 you couldn't, so again, there's that Mario connection. Yeah, so let me know if you guys have ever played this. Let me know if there are any games that you would want me to review real quick. Just trying to put some content together to get up on the page. I haven't played all the games, obviously. I do have a nice little collection over here of games. I try to stick to the ones that I remember playing as a kid, but then when I actually started collecting, it kind of took over. I have games that I'll probably never ever play, but you know, they come in packages, so I buy them. Nostalgia is a big thing right now. Collecting like went huge. I kind of got on board at the end of where it was harder to find games and they were getting more expensive. So I got a lot of games at one point, and then it just died off because everybody was collecting and everybody was reselling, and it really kind of took the fun out of it for a while. It's hard to find games anymore that aren't like crazy expensive because people think they're sitting on gold. But it's still fun. You know, you go to garage sales, you try to find old games, you know, something, you know, makes a connection in your head, you know, in your heart. You remember, you know, grandma bought me this game, or, you know, parents bought you this game or whatever. And the nostalgia for, I guess, my generation has really taken over because it was simpler times. It was happier times. You know what I mean? Yeah, so Adventure Island, Adventure Island 2, 3, Super Adventure Island 2. If you guys have ever played them, drop me some comments, like my page, subscribe, share the videos, give me ideas on content. I'd really like to get a couple more like discussions about some topics that aren't really, I don't know how I want to put it. They're not mainstream. We'll go with that, not mainstream. I got to get with my buddy Doc on some new content too. I'd like to put some new videos up. We've got videos up on aliens, Bigfoot. I know we've teased a few other things. We just haven't got them together yet, guys. I really hope to. I hope you guys enjoy listening to me blabber on about my nostalgia and everything. If not, give me a thumbs down. I prefer thumbs up or whatever. Keep rocking, guys. We'll see you next time.